everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm UK Carnivore Guy, or Paul, and we are holding another live stream. This time with Larry, who you will have seen me holding. Sorry, I've got a duplicate here. Somebody got YouTube on. That's it. I think it's all.
There we go. We're good. Alex had it.
That's all right. That's all right. I've got Larry here with us, who is the Carnivore Soldier. You might have seen me doing a live stream on his channel recently. How are you doing, Larry?
Good, man. That's Hook 'em Horns. I'm down here in Austin, Texas. Longhorns, baby. Doing good.
Good. And I've also got Carnivore for Life, Alex. How are you doing, mate?
I'm fantastic, mate. Great for having me on, Paul.
No, anytime. You know that. I really do appreciate it. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about all things carnivore and try and get some different perspectives against how it is in the USA and how it is here in the UK, because I think there is some differences as well, but not just that. We'll be talking about carnivore in general. So I've got a list of questions here on my little notepad, and we'll start getting through them. If anybody is watching and they want to leave a question or a comment, please do so. If you do leave a question, put a big Q or a few Qs in front of it just so it stands out, and we'll try and get them answered as well. We've also already got some comments from Nick Jones from the deepest, darkest Sussex. Sorry, I nearly said Somerset. Sussex in UK. Welcome, Nick. And Richard Williams, good afternoon, one and all, from Copper Hill, Tennessee, I believe that is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everybody, welcome. I'm sure some of these are Larry's subscribers and Alex's subscribers. So, yeah, if you see me for the first time, welcome and thanks for popping over. Right, okay, we'll get started straight away with the first question. So, I'd like you to both, we'll start with you, Larry, if you don't mind, introduce yourselves and talk about how you discovered the carnivore diet.
Yeah, Larry here from Austin, Texas, also known as Carnivore Soldier. Started my channel, I think on August 7th was my first video I made. I actually had a YouTube channel for a while where I did drone video, and it was also for sharing videos with family. It wasn't really a commercial thing. And so it's an old channel, 4 years old, but I just started doing videos in August. Started the carnivore, my carnivore journey, March 22nd. And what happened was I was 280 pounds. I retired from the Army in 2019. I was a former athlete, former soldier, and after, going through the I won't say the word, but going through the disease we went through and being locked up, my health continued to decline at a pretty quick rate, and I found myself at 280 pounds, 6'3", so I'm a tall guy, so I could hide a lot of that, but I was definitely inflamed and not well, and looking for a way to get out. And I tried every diet under the sun, including keto, which and intermittent fasting and alternate day fasting and different things. And every diet I tried actually had success initially, but I fell off every one. And I don't know if you've done that, but I mean, for me, I always ended up falling off, backsliding until I drive a Jeep. So I'm a Jeeper. My coffee cup. I love to off-road in Jeep like a lot of veterans do. So I was looking for how to put a part on my Jeep on YouTube. And all of a sudden this video came up with this guy named Dante Fregno Freedom. And it was an old video. And the guy showed, it was like I think it was 126 days on lion diet or something. I thought it was 126 days. And I saw him transform his body. And this guy wasn't like some fitness guru. He wasn't some licensed, dietitian or doctor. And he looked like a blue collar Joe. And I was like, okay, if this guy could do it, then maybe I could do it. And then I thought, well, surely he's not still in shape. So I went and looked at a current video because it was several years old, and he looked even better and sounded better. The guy was sharp as a tack, looked totally fit. And I'm like, okay, this thing's legit. So then I went down the road looking at all the doctors, right? Because I knew Dr. Barry from back when I did keto. That guy had been keto a long time. I saw he had switched carnivore, and that gave instant credibility to me. I'm like, okay, this guy's legit. And if he's gone carnivore, then it must be real. And then I found, of course, Chafee, Baker, all the other ones. Started finding the doctors, and that was it. So that's how I started. Have not looked back since March 22nd. The first diet that is not only sustainable, but is easily sustainable. Super easy. So that's my story in a nutshell.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with the other diets. I have tried when I was at my biggest. I used to drive buses. When I was at my biggest, I did Weight Watchers with my mum, And to be fair, I lost like £9 in the first week, but obviously I think most of that was water weight. But it didn't take long before I was like bored to hell. But I can't be eating like this for the rest of my life, you know. So
Starving sucks.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, Alex, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction on how you discovered the diet as well?
Yeah, thanks very much, Paul. Yeah, 1st of May, 2022. Very much like Larry, I'd gone through lockdowns. My issues were mental. I'd gone really into myself, went into a really dark cave, and I really struggled with the situation of realizing that I wasn't as much in control of my life as I thought I was, and I wasn't able to help my family as much as I wanted. I lost all my work as a swim teacher, and you know, it did affect me internally quite a lot. I was probably overweight anyway. I was about 203 pounds, but I was carrying it well, as people said. But on the 1st of May, you know, coming out of lockdowns, I was in a not the best place, probably drinking too much alcohol. I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I've always looked after myself physically, but as I say, the diet I was on was starting to really affect my mental health and also my weight. But on the 1st of May, I watched it was a documentary called Fat Fiction on YouTube, of all places. And I sat there, watched it twice, spoke to Michelle about it, my wife, and I said, I've been doing this wrong for 60 to 63 years. And as I say, it made sense to me, and there was no issues about trying it. Went into my kitchen, took out all the food, and it was as an epiphany moment. Everything had sugar in it. And I was disappointed that I'd realized that I knew it had sugar in it, but I just didn't realize the impact that it had on my metabolic health. So on that day, I was like gung ho, you know, come on, let's go for it. Military operation. And we took all the stuff out the cupboards and eliminated everything that had sugar in it and basically started again. So started watching YouTube videos, all the algorithms point stuff your way. And this guy comes on, Dr. Sean Baker, walking in his grounds in America. And I went, this guy doesn't look like a doctor. He's got a baseball cap on. He's ripped to hell. He's just unbelievable. And so, you know, when you go very quiet and you're thinking, am I in the matrix here? Is this really on my YouTube channel? So I watched him, then obviously watched all his other videos. And the next thing that came up was Dr. Baker. And I was going, another doctor, what is going on with this? I'd never heard of carnivore. I'd never heard of keto. I thought keto was like a Japanese art form or something. I just never heard of these things. And I thought I was quite worldly wise. So, you know, you start watching videos 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Then the other two horsemen of the apocalypse came along, Dr. Chafee. That guy was too good looking, you know. I was thinking, what? This is just blowing my mind. And then Dr. Kiltz, who was obviously in my age group, and the energy coming out of that guy in his 60s. And I'm going, wow, what have I been missing all my life? So started on the diet, really stuck to it, didn't get any issues with keto flu. And 2 weeks later, I'd lost at least £9. And for Michelle, my wife, to comment on my appearance, because she's a tough cookie, you know, she won't give me any leeway. And the pair of us just couldn't believe that the weight was just falling off me. So carried on with the diet. I've gone from 203 pounds, which is 14 stone 7 plus in the UK. And I'm down today's weight, which is 11 stone 7, which is about 161 pounds. I'm feeling now, as I said to Kerry in Homestead House, decades younger. I can't believe I've had a new chance to go up the hill. I thought I was over the hill. I was over the hump, you know, when I was about 60, but now at 65, I just feel as if I'm in my 30s. So guys, this is why I'm doing my Carnivore for Life channel. It's just a life changer for me, and I'm never, ever going back.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
100%.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I found my first ever carnivore video. I mentioned it on Larry's live stream that we did. It was just a random video that Jordan Peterson had did with Joe Rogan. I think loads of people have found it that way.
Yep.
And he was just talking about the benefits. Was incredible what had happened to him and his daughter. So I looked into it a bit more, and the next person I found was Ken Berry. Anybody that's on the carnivore diet, I would expect would have heard of Ken Berry.
Yeah.
What he's doing for it is incredible. And then I found Homestead Howe and the rest, Shafi. It just, the list goes on. Like you see, these doctors, they've got that carnivore glow in the skin. They've got that energy, haven't they?
Yeah,
They're
incredible.
so clear with what they're saying, and they describe. Considering the doctors, they can break it down to sort of my level, so that I understand it as well. So
yeah.
that's all good. Yeah, we've had some comments. I see, Larry, you're replying to some of these anyway. A guy, I'll put it up here.
Sure.
It's an interesting one. I didn't realize. I have problems sleeping because I have problems sleeping for a longer period of time on carnivore. But this guy also uses orange juice to be able to sleep. Today I ate more. The times I was able to sleep, I ate a lot. So, and he exercises a lot as well. So, do you think that is because of the orange juice? Possibly that was maybe struggling with his sleep. I don't know. I've never heard that happening, but is that a possibility?
I've never heard of orange juice helping someone sleep. So I've always been told that milk does. And I would recommend and rather than doing orange juice, which I did recommend in this comment, is I would try whole milk. And if you can get it raw milk, because the homogenization, pasteurization is not a problem with milk. Homogenization is. And that's why people get a lot of lactose intolerance, because homogenization changes the structure of the cells, I guess, and makes it so that it permeates your stomach lining, so you get lactose intolerance, where whole milk you probably won't. Or you could go with goat milk. Actually, goat milk is pretty good. I love that. Tastes a little bit of goat cheese flavor to it. I like that a lot. So you could try. I would definitely go whole milk and dump the because orange juice is pure sugar. Don't want that. That's definitely not the answer.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, Gabriel, with that. Next time you're on, let us know how that went. Right. Next question for you guys, Larry. So, did you experience any negative effects at all when you switched onto the carnivore diet?
Yeah. But in the Army, we just suck it up and drive on, right? That's that's the thing you do in the military. You don't complain about it. You just do it. And I had seen enough videos to know that, Joe Rogan went through his stuff, and I saw that, and I'm like, okay, so what's the worst that could happen, right? That's why I do the worst case analysis, right, before I go into a mission. So worst that could happen, I'm going to get some diarrhea. Worst that could happen was I'd be having the keto flu and have headaches. Okay, can handle that. I already got that stuff anyway. I'll have some, low energy. Okay, I can get through that. So that's what I did. And I just went in with that mindset, like, listen, I'm going to gut through this for a couple weeks, strict. So like I like to say is when Cortez came to the New World, he burned his ships. And that's how he defeated the Aztec nation with 600 soldiers. And I'm like, I'm burning my ships, man. I'm not going back. So when I went, I'm like, it's going to suck, and I'm going to embrace the suck. And I'm just going to drive through it. And because of that, I had those negative things. I had diarrhea because I knew my gut biome was changed, but it wasn't a surprise. I knew it was going to happen. I was just ready for it. And then I knew I was going to have the low energy. I did. I had headaches, a little bit of keto flu, which, surprise, surprise, keto flu is not the flu. What it really is you're basically having carbohydrate withdrawal, addiction withdrawal. So you're an addict. You have to get through your withdrawals. But on the other side of that, man, it is so amazing just 2-3 weeks after that. So it's totally worth it from my experience.
Yeah, I think I agree. If you do your research, then when these things happen to you, you'll not be shocked. You'll not be surprised by it before you start. So, did you have something similar, Alex? Was it same sort of thing?
Sorry to disappoint you guys. I had a great time. Yeah, I was just diving into the steaks. As I said, the weight loss after the first 2 weeks was the big spark. And I did say to Michelle, I'm going to give it a month. You don't do these things for a couple of days, because people do this all the time. Oh, I've lost 2 pounds. It's rubbish. Off I go. People who are on these like Slimming World situations. I feel for them. I've got plenty of friends who do these things, but every time they come off that wagon, they put all the weight back on, they take all the cheats. But I said to Michelle, this is clean eating. And one of the things I noticed, guys, in the first month was I was saving money, and I didn't have any rubbish to throw away, like, packaging, food that was going off. It's like you sell by dates. Everything was clean. I was like, as I say, I was almost euphoric about the whole thing. So yeah, I'm very blessed that I didn't have any issues whatsoever.
Yeah, that is good. I was pretty much the same as you, Mike. The runs, bit of headaches. Like I said, I've mentioned me sleeping before. It's less sleeping, but I do feel like I've got more energy, so it sort of counteracts it anyway. We've had somebody in the chat asking where Mike is. I was meant to mention this at the beginning. Actually, Mike's unable to make it tonight. He is sorry about it. Had a bit of a sort of family emergency going on, so he'll not be on tonight, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully everything's going okay with him. Right, next one. Positives. We've spoke about the negatives. There hasn't been many, but Alex, do you want to go ahead first with this one and tell us the biggest positives that just maybe the top 3 positive things that you've experienced whilst eating this diet?
I think number one by far, and I think a lot of carnivores will agree with this, is my mental state. I've got rid of all the cobwebs. I've got no issues. Everything's positive. I used to be a bit of a grump, a bit of a, watch TV and criticize all the politics and all, go on Facebook and always have a rant about, the way the world's going. That's all gone. I focus now on myself, my family, my friends, what I'm doing with my swim teaching, and just relating to the fact that I do feel decades younger. My mental capacity is just phenomenal. My second one, I would say, on the health benefits, I don't get acid reflux anymore. That was horrendous, and that was coupled with snoring. Yeah, I would get the elbows off Michelle. I mean, she can elbow you in the ribs, good time. And to realize that it was the fact that I was losing weight, all my inflammation had gone. I'm obviously now sleeping like a baby, or I would say I sleep like a grizzly bear. And that was connected to the snoring. So the snoring and the acid reflux are definitely tied together. So that's number 2. And I would probably say my blood pressure. I'm off blood pressure medications, 3 of them, after 20 years. And I've got a decent, blood pressure monitor. I take my measurements every week, and it's just so reassuring that I don't have to be on those medications for the rest of my life, which my doctor did say to me when I did ask him 15 years ago, Alex, you are on these for life. And as somebody at the time who would bow to authority, I took that on board. I took it on faith. But then I realized on the carnivore diet, it's down to me. I've got to do these things in spite of the medical profession, not because of them. So they're the 3 things that I've really sort of, I feel blessed about.
Yeah, so you could have had a YouTube channel called Blood Pressure Tablets for Life instead of Carnivore for Life. You switched that over, so yeah, well done for doing it. Well done. Larry, could you give us your main positives as well whilst you switched to Carnivore?
Yeah, I think, weight loss was pivotal, and then losing my inflammation, obviously, because all things that we have, all modern Western diseases are driven by inflammation, chronic inflammation. And you do a little research, you're going to find that out. So brain fog, even your mental capacity to operate is affected, which I didn't realize how bad I was until I got on this for a while. And then things started changing, my mental attitude, the way I popped up in the morning, everything, my motivation. I felt like getting up and doing dishes, which I never did. It felt like doing stuff around the house. It's just like weird. It's like, oh my gosh, it's not a chore anymore. It's just an opportunity to go do something. And so I fill my days with opportunities now to do things, including a YouTube channel, which I never really planned or expected. So I think the mental is huge, but the inflammation is key to everything. When the inflammation's gone, your body starts healing itself. And then your mind, your mind will basically operate at the optimum level. I think we talked about this, Paul, when I did the video with you, that your body is like a drag car, a top fuel drag car designed to do 300 miles an hour down a quarter-mile stretch. And if you put regular 89 octane unleaded in it, it will make the quarter mile probably, but the engine's going to be destroyed, and it's not going to run very well, and it's going to be really slow. Whereas you put the right fuel in it, that thing just rockets down and it's ready to go again. And I think that's us, right? So when you put the right fuel in, for me, the mind change. That's why I have this YouTube channel, because it's so different. every not one aspect of my life has not been positively changed. Not one aspect. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Do you? I know Mike's mentioned this to me before. He's a little bit worried, even though he's on the carnivore diet. He's a bit worried about the damage already potentially done, like the way we've lived our lives up until this point. Does that at all concern you, Larry? Like, do you ever think, I was on the standard Western diet, like even now I'm eating healthy, it doesn't mean that I'm cured from everything that I've done before? Do you ever think about that, or does it not concern you?
No, it did, but I think I watched a movie. So I have movie reviews on my channel too, and I did a movie review on that fat documentary, which is great, and the fat fiction, both those fantastic documentaries. I saw that. But I did one on that sugar film, and that was amazing because in that sugar film, it's an experiment the guy does with himself. He goes from eating a whole food diet with no sugar to eating the standard recommended amount of daily allowance of sugar. And the only sugar he eats is hidden sugars in healthy food, right? Protein bars, yogurts, things that are, healthy. So eating healthy food, he totally destroys his body in about 6 weeks to 8 weeks, where he gets to where I am now and where you guys were, or not now, but where I was, where his liver's fatty. He's put on, 23 pounds, all these terrible things in the matter of 6 to 8 weeks. But then at the end of the movie, he reverses it again. In another 6 to 8 weeks, he's completely back to normal. So I think our body is just so amazing. Now, the permanent damage, I think that some of the injuries I sustained in the military may not have happened had I not been in an inflamed state and I had been in an optimum healing state. I probably would have been less prone to injury and would have healed better. And because I didn't, I have some permanent injuries that are, unfortunate, but those won't come back. But other than that, I think the mind, the health. Now you're talking about like the heart, the arteries, you got to do CAT scans to check all that stuff. But I think a lot of it's reversible. I really do. Talk to a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I think a lot of this, what's the option, right? Is to continue down the standard American diet. We're going to die anyway. So you might as well try it. It's not going to, there's no bad option going this way. No bad option.
Yeah, I know, 100%. Do you agree with that, Alex? Do you ever worry about it, or does it not really enter your head?
No, as I said before, boys, and I've documented it on my videos, I feel as if I'm in my 30s. So why would I not carry on? I mean, shall I call them diseases that I had? Things like bloating. I've got a prosthetic right knee from when I was 50, and that was with a diagnosis of osteoarthritis. And I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, but if I'd have known about this in my 40s, I would not have taken the operation. And I had IBS in my 50s. I developed a diastasis recti where my abdomen muscles split, which caused a ventral hernia. And then I ended up having my abs reconstructed. And I know the IBS was causing me so much strain when I was, passing stools, excessive wind. I don't want to go into detail in case anyone's eating, but guys, you know what it's like when you're eating these standard UK and US diets. I was in agony all the time. And I know that if I'd have known about the carnivore diet, I would have been able to stop my IBS, which would have stopped the abdomens being split. So I think maybe you can't reverse things, but you can prevent things getting any worse. And I don't know any carnivores. I mean, I've got tons of them on my channel now, as my subscriptions. Everybody's happy. Everyone's positive. Everyone's getting great results. You'd never, ever hear a carnivore come on and go, this is a load of crap. Right. You know what I mean? It's all, I just feel as if the community thing's not really what I want to talk about, but you just feel as if there's like a momentum. And I know that people are suddenly getting a realization that they can not so much cure them things, but they can stop these diseases that they've got.
Yeah.
I like to keep a critical eye. I like to do critical thinking. So I like to see the opposite opinions a lot. So I've been watching people in formats like this discussing the negatives on carnivore. And I noticed that every time I watch a panel like that, none of these people have even tried it for a day.
Yeah.
They all have this expert opinion on, oh, well, you're not going to have this. It's not going to, they're just extreme. And it's like, listen, if I was going to shoot it down like I did, when I went and I burned the ships like Cortez style, I'm like, hey, listen, this is either going to work or it's not in 30 days. And I'll know if it's a scam. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So, you know, there is no other side. When people actually go down and actually apply the diet properly and honestly, if they actually do it, they're going to get good results.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was on. Sorry, Paul. I was going to say
No,
that I'm now on 18 months, so that's obviously a year and a half, and I'm 65, and I'm not a big-headed person. I'm quite modest, but when I go into hospitals with my family member, and I look around, and I know there's people probably 10, 15, 20 years younger than me, and I look in the mirror and think, God, I just look 20 years younger than them. What's going on? You know what I mean? It's just now that I've been doing it 18 months, I just feel as if my channel is going to grow because people are going, well, look at that guy. He hasn't been doing it for 2 weeks. It's 18 months. I mean, I look at Dr. Chafee, he's been doing it 10, 15 years. If that doesn't make you confident about what you're doing, nothing ever will.
no, exactly. And like Larry said, I mean, I sometimes get involved in some debates on X with vegans and stuff. I know I should just leave them to it. Like, the fact that I've learned my lesson, I'm not even going to bother. But they like, whenever I've asked them, like, have you actually done it? And they're like, no way. Like, I would never do it. Like, well, then don't preach to me, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
A lot of that vegan mentality, though, is like a moral picture where they have this false moral narrative that they're not killing animals when they are. In case you didn't know, for every acre of wheat that's harvested industrially in America, between 17 and 70 animals are killed for every acre. And those include voles, moles, snakes, rabbits, songbirds, you know, all kinds of animals. So if you multiply that by 140 million acres or whatever it is, you know, you got billions of animals every year being killed making these. So, I mean, it's a false narrative that don't get into it with them because they are a religious cult. And, you know, I would, you know, the difference is we actually have science on our back. And we also have, you know, yes, this is N equals 1. This is an anecdotal thing. We're not a study. But if you add enough N equal 1s together, you have data points that point towards a theory. And our theory, I know, is correct. This is a Copernicus moment. Okay. And this is, you know, Galileo and Copernicus were persecuted for saying, you know, that the sun was not the center of the galaxy, or Earth was not the center of the galaxy, right? And they pointed to the sun, saying we're circling the sun. And this is our moment. I mean, the powers to be then were the government / church, right? And now it's the government / industry. Same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with that. Nice to see everybody in the comments. I think these are coming from Twitter or something. They're definitely links to somebody else's channel, but I appreciate all the comments in there. People seeing where they're from. Somebody put Essex, which is nice to see because I'm from Essex.
Nice.
So if you're from Essex, welcome. It's good when you find somebody from the UK, never mind close by as well. So that's good to hear. Right, we'll go on to the next question. And so, if you met somebody today, came up to you and went, "Look, I've seen your video. I'm thinking about starting the carnivore diet. What advice would you give them? Like, just to get started. Say, we'll start with you again, Larry. What advice would you give?"
Well, I'm kind of a hard nose, so I know people say, "Well, ease into it." Yeah, okay. Here's the deal: you're going to have to know your body. You have to have some self-awareness here. For me, there's no way I could have succeeded because I failed every diet I knew. I do like we call it an after-action review on missions, where we look at a mission, we determine what worked, what didn't. We usually pick 3 things that worked, 3 things that didn't, and we make changes and keep things the same so we have better results next time. So I looked at my other diets. And I kind of did my own AAR and said, okay, this is how I fell off. I always backslid. I always added processed foods or whatever. So this time I'm burning the ships. And for me, that's the way it works. Now, some people are moderators. I'm not. I'm a binger. If I open a thing of Oreos, I'm eating all the Oreos. You know, that's the way it is. And I know myself. So I got rid of the Oreos. So for me, I know myself. I would say go, 100% from day one, plan for the worst and suck it up and drive on through. But if you are a true moderator, where you can eat 1 cookie and walk away and not have any, I don't know, there's some people, my son's like that, not have any drive to have another cookie or another chip out of that bag of crisps or whatever, right? So if you're that guy, then yeah, you could do a transition from a keto to a carnivore. So you have to know yourself. But for me, that would never work. And the first thing I would say is, though, this, regardless which way you go, cut out all seed oils, all sugars, all refined grains and all trans fats, and then educate yourself. Watch these documentaries we're talking about. You need to start your education because you have to be your own advocate on this system with your medical health system, with your relatives are going to be coming after you until you're going to die of high cholesterol with nonsense. You have to be an advocate for yourself. So educate yourself and figure out your best path forward and go and start today.
Yeah. 100%. Totally agree with that. Before we get to you, Alex, just quickly, I want to read this comment out. Thank you a million times over, gentlemen, for the individual channels and for the many collaborations. You're all making a huge positive impact through the spreading of the carnivore lifestyle. It's great when you read things out, isn't it, Alex? I mean, that's the reason we're all here.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Alex. Go for it.
Yeah. What I wouldn't do again, which I did at the beginning, was dump it on everybody. As soon as somebody said to me, "Hey, Alex, you're looking well," it was like a torrent. I drowned them in the information. I would never do that again. I would say, why do you want to do it? What is your why? And I remember Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, your why should make you cry. And that gave me goosebumps. I was like, that's how I feel. I'm that emotional about it. So I think if it was today, I'd say, guys, don't tell anybody what to do. I would say, right, here's what I did. I watched a movie called Fat Fiction. There's a few different movies out. And just research. Do what I did. I'm a big fan of YouTube. I would probably give them a recommendation of the 4 doctors we mentioned before, but I would also talk about the likes of yourselves, guys. I'd say, listen, there's some great guys on here. My first 3, should we say, ordinary folk were Dante. I did exactly the same as you guys. Yeah. I just fell in love with that. Is it the 90-day one? I just was like, my jaw, I just couldn't lift it up. And then Amanda from Carnivorous Me, I watched her first or her second video and I had tears coming down my eyes. I thought she was just, and I knew she would continue with this because you could feel it. I was like, come on, girl, go for it. And obviously I'd already started anyway. So it was great to see normal, should we say, ordinary people doing it. And the third one was Dave Mack from No Carb Life, because Dave was obviously closer to my age group. And again, a completely different character. And I was like, these people are real. I'm not alone here. I mean, obviously Michelle and the family were supporting me. But to see so many people suddenly come onto YouTube, and it then gives you that sort of like reference point. And you can say to people, don't listen to me. Don't take on board what I'm saying. Have a look at these professionals, have a look at people who've lost 100 pounds. Was it Sean he's gone from 245 pounds. It's almost like
intentional carnivore, I think he's called.
Sean makes a few comments on my videos, which I appreciate. And you think to yourself, geez, I'd lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, then 40. And I'm thinking, this guy's lost over 200 pounds. How the hell can you do that in 12 months? And so that's my advice, Paul, is research, and stay with YouTube.
Excellent. Yeah, there's nothing I can really add to that. Spot on. Thank you very much, guys. Quick comment here made us laugh a little bit. Hi, all. Babs from Bolton here. We're currently in Greece. Been carnivore for 30 days and it's total crap. And I'm so happy about it because being constipated all my life and now I'm not so crap is good.
Nice.
At first I thought it was somebody coming on giving us some stick, but no, that was a good one. I'm just going through some of the comments here. Let's have a look here. Sandra T. Are people still losing weight or maintaining? I've been carnivore for 7 months, still losing, wondering if I'll keep losing. I'm back to running and dancing and doing a 24-hour decathlon to celebrate. Just quickly, from my perspective, I've sort of stopped now, but I wasn't really doing it for weight. I wasn't really that much overweight anyway. So I think your body naturally finds a point, unless you start overeating or eating the wrong things again. I think your body finds that point and it just balances itself out. If your body thinks it needs to lose weight, then I'm sure if you're doing this correctly, then you will continue to lose weight. Would you like anything to add to that, either of you?
Yeah, I'll start if you want. I've started the Lion Diet today, 1st of November. I've put a video out yesterday, I think, or the day before. It's got really a lot of attention. And I spoke to Kerry about it and he said, thumbs up, have a go, Al. And it's just a challenge, as I say, as we about burning your boats, Larry, it's a challenge. Why not have a challenge when you're 65, 66, 67? So I've weighed myself today. I'm still 261. No, sorry, 261, 161. And I'm going to focus on maybe dropping about another 7 pounds. I've had 2 steaks today. I've had water. I've had my red and salt. I feel fantastic. So I'm going to document it. I'm going to do shorts every day and maybe do a weekly video. And went to the butcher's today, guys. I got a 6 kilogram sirloin and a 4 kilogram ribeye. So I brought them home in a bag. The bag split because it was that heavy. And yeah, so I'm going to go for it. I can't see any issues. I don't think I'll fall off the wagon because I love my eggs, but I'm so determined to set the tone. And, people over 50 seem to resonate with the channel. And I think yesterday's response to that video, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I think hopefully it will inspire a lot of people. Yeah. So the weight loss, as you say, it's not plateaued. It's just hovered around about, was it 161? But I think I can get it down to about 155. So there you go.
Yeah, I remember, I'm sure it was Ken Berry was talking about it once, saying that it's natural for you to stall sometimes as well. Your body's not going to continuously drop like that. So, yeah, Larry, is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I initially dropped from 280 to 250, so I lost 30 pounds in the first 90 days, which was amazing. And then my body at 250 continued to change, and I put muscle on, and my waistline continued to drop. I went through several belts, several pairs of pants, shorts, that kind of stuff, which is great. But then I plateaued out for about 4 weeks, and then I switched to Lion Diet for 30 days. And my Lion Diet consisted of 2 or 3 steaks a week, and the rest of the time was ground beef. I did have butter. That was the only thing I added: salt, butter, and beef, and water. And I went down immediately in the first 3 weeks, 13 more pounds to 234, which I'm at now. And 234 is what I weighed in the 90s, guys. I mean, this is before I came back in the Army. I came back in the Army, I was at 245. Haven't been that low since that was in 04. So, and I feel great. So right now I've been plateaued at 234, but I feel fantastic. I'm able to do everything I want to do. I mean, basically, I feel like that's when I was in my 30s. So I feel like I'm in my 30s. And I really believe that after my body continues healing, I'm actually still healing injuries. And when I'm fully healed, I think I'll probably end up going down to 225 or 228. And I think I'll probably end up stopping there with about a 34-inch waist, which I have a 36 right now. That's great.
Yeah, but Larry, that's a great weight for your height, to be honest. You're 6'3".
Yeah, I'm 6'3" and I'm muscular. Yeah. So I mean, I played rugby, so I was a second row. I was lock. So I mean, that's my size.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5'9", so I think I'm shrinking as I'm getting older. But 161 on me looks great at the moment. I've gone down to a 32-inch waist from 38.
That's awesome.
6 inches off my chest. I'm down to 40. Half my clothes now. I'm going to have to either sell them or give them away. And that in fact, that's probably the only negative, Paul. Having to buy more clothes. But it's a good negative.
It is a good negative. That's something I've been talking about actually recently. I mean, me work shirts and everything are getting big. Even me, me lounge clothes that I wear on an evening, me hoodies and me lounge trousers and stuff like that. They're like sagging away. So yeah, it's a bit more expense that you probably didn't want, but it's still 100% worth having. That problem, isn't it? So
I blew it. I bought some shorts in the summer because I dropped so fast I couldn't. Even my old skinny shorts wouldn't fit anymore, so I had to go buy shorts and a belt. And then I bought pants when I was there because they were on sale, which is a mistake. Because now my pants are super loose. I feel like a scarecrow walking around these pants. But
yeah. I'm on the last hole on my belt as well.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, 100%. There's a guy here, Nick Jones. He's doing the ORAD, 1 ribeye a day. So yeah, pretty much Lion Diet. Plus a bit of cheese in the evening, 2 hours after my ribeye. Been on it since January 23rd. Excellent. Let us know how that's going. What positives you've felt from that, Nick. That's especially from January. That's quite a long time.
That's a long time. Yeah.
Well,
he's one of my guys.
Oh, is he one of yours? Oh, excellent. I think there's a lot of them from both of your channels here, so thank you for coming over. Eileen, Finn, men lose weight more easily than women. Is she being sexist there, do you think?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
You gotta talk to Kelly Hogan about that, because she lost some weight like a banshee. And I don't know. I mean, I think maybe on the standard American diet and on traditional diets, that's true. I don't think on this. I think on this, it's everyone's individual, and it's going to depend on what state you started at. How long have you been on the standard American diet? What was your standard American diet like? What your body has to recover from before the weight loss. So I think there's a lot of you can't just make a blanket thing that women lose weight and men don't, or whatever. I think everyone's kind of
just on
n equals 1
on that. Yeah, on that one, just look at Amanda from Carnivorous Me.
Yeah, right.
She what an ambassador.
Yeah. Eileen said, I know about Kelly, she agrees with me, so there you go. I might as well keep going with some of his comments, because I like interacting with the people that took the time to come over here. So Sandra T, loose skin ? How are people managing? I actually haven't luckily got any loose skin. I think I've only lost about 15 pounds.
Yeah, look how skinny you are, dude. Come on.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I originally, I can't really speak for loose skin, thankfully, but I know it's something a lot of people would experience on this. Have either of you noticed anything like that, or is your skin sort of shrank with it? Do you want to go, Alex?
Okay, I think my neck is better than it was. I mean, I'm 65. I'm quite happy with that, especially when I put my chin up like that. But I think if anyone was going to say, well, how old is Alex? I think that's probably the one giveaway. On my chest, fortunately, all my subcutaneous fat, I say that's disappeared. I haven't got the man boobs anymore. It's quite tight, but I'm going to the gym every day on the November challenge, so I'm going to log that progress as well. I think on my arms, it's not too bad, but I think it's just near my the top of my rib cage. Overall, I think the fact that it 200 or 300 or 400 pounds to lose, I don't think you would get as a saggy skin situation. But as I say, I think the muscle tone's the most important thing.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to click on you and zoom in on your muscle there, but it went straight to me for some reason, so I got that wrong.
Nice.
There you go. Yeah, nice.
The gun show.
Yeah, get the guns out. Get the guns out.
I'm not getting mad. I'd have to take my jumper off. So that is actually something that I want to work on as well. I need to build me upper muscle up a bit. So, yeah, excellent. Right, let's go on to the next question then. Alex, this is one thing I want to ask your opinion on first of all. Do you think, I mean, I've spoken to you about this before. I know that you agree with me in the sense that the carnivore diet is growing quite rapidly in this country. But can you still see like a massive sort of gap between how big it is over there in America compared to over here in the UK? It seems to me that if you go on YouTube, if you're doing a bit of research, and the vast majority of it is still American, and like where I don't know if that goes. So if you went to per capita of person, I don't know how what percentage or ratio it is, but it feels that way to me. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, they say obviously when the US has a cold or a cough, we have a sneeze, don't we? We catch up eventually, but obviously our population's much smaller. But I just feel at the moment I think in a war with big pharma, big food, media, but I think YouTube is our salvation. I think I didn't realize. I went through my subscribers a couple of days ago because full well I'm not very good with the tech, but I was on the YouTube studio and I couldn't believe how many other carnivores were subscribed to my channel. So I instantly started subscribing back because I felt I don't want to offend anybody, but I was going through it all thinking, geez, it's all carnivores. And that just inspired me, or sort of reassured me that we are definitely, it's a growing, what should we say, industry. There's definitely a massive growth here. And I think people have just had enough of the same old. And I think when they come onto YouTube, which we've all got access to, and they see people like me and Paul with our, should we say, working class accents. I'm a working class lad, and I know you are. And I'm guessing Larry's just a good, hard working guy from Texas, is it not? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when they see people like us, it's relatable and it's accessible. And all the stuff I get from people like, oh, it must be costing you a fortune. Well, I went on Google today, and the average person in the UK spends about £7 a day on food. That's for all the snacks, the coffees, the Starbucks, all the crap they eat. And, well, I include myself in that. I ate crap for years.
Yeah.
And my last carvel for my ribeyes was £6.50 per, I think it was 10-ounce steak. And that's all I was eating each day with a few eggs. And I thought, I'm spending less per capita than people who are eating on the standard UK and American diet. So I think people will suddenly go, hello, I'm suddenly realizing this. It's a eureka moment. Why would I not eat like a king every day or a queen eating steaks? When I go to heaven, there's going to be two doors. There's going to be a salad door and a steaks door. You know which one I'm going to walk through.
But you don't even
like
really
that.
need to eat steaks to do this proper. You can do the right thing on a BBB&E, which is burger, bacon, eggs, and butter, right? Or beef butter, and you can do it with ground beef or minced meat.
Yeah. So well, that's one of my favorites. Paul, no, I'm sorry. On my videos, I do a lot of Powerball videos. My first video, I got 11,000 hits. I couldn't believe it. It was a terrible video. It was horrendous, but it was me doing Powerball. And that is definitely my go-to meal. And you're so right, Larry, that if you do like 2 or 3 steaks or 4 steaks a week, and then throw the eggs in and the Powerballs, it is such a clean way of eating. It's economical and it gives you all the health benefits. So yeah, Paul, it's I think we won't catch up with the States because they've got better cattle than us, better beef. But
we do. Texas,
but
especially.
the Brits are coming though. Yeah, the Brits are coming.
I don't know what it is with whenever I've been involved in a lot of different communities over the years. I'm a massive fan of Tesla, which is why I'd love to go to Texas and see their thing. So I'm in Tesla communities, football ones, a paranormal one from years ago. I've done all sorts of different things, and it always seems to me like I don't know why, but it always seems the Americans are doing it bigger, better, and we're just like following along, like you say. So it's nice to see that we are allies. We're all allies on this YouTube one here together. But I'd love it if we could get to the same stage as them. I mean, I watch these guys from called Goon Squad. They fix up old cars, bashed up cars. They're in somewhere, I think it's Chattanooga, and every time they go somewhere, or like Lily Kane, she's a carnivore, she goes somewhere, they go to the supermarket, it seems like they've got variety of everything's there. I mean, when I go to Tesco's, you guarantee what I want's not there, or the shirt I'm buying's not the right size, or like we just seem so terrible at having things where the Americans just have everything there ready for you. I mean, I don't know if it's just the perception's wrong, but that's the way it appears. What would you say, Larry? Do you think I'm talking a bit rubbish there, or
no? In Texas we say that we go bigger than everyone in America, so we're the big state, right? We're the ones that do everything bigger and better, and that's why Tesla moved here. That's why all these companies are moving here, right? Because we're doing it right, I think. And this is the place for big ideas and for freedom and people that want to exercise. It's kind of like I've heard it said, I think Bono from U2 talked about America being based on an idea, right? And Texas, of course, is the only state that was actually a nation of its own, the Republic of Texas, before it became a state. And it was based on an idea of freedom and individual freedom and ruggedism and individualism, right? And that's what this is an extension of. To me, this is such a natural extension. It's just it's taking that rugged individualism and applying it to your diet and your health and becoming your own advocate. And for sure. And going back to the affordability of carnivore, we have a store here called Walmart. I don't know if they have them in the UK, but it's basically an everything store, right? And you can go there and get cheap meat, cheap eggs. And I did a budget together where for less than $160 a month, you could eat a proper BBB&E diet. And actually, there's a guy called Semi-Retired Bob. I don't know if you guys know him over here. He lives on a budget of about $120 a month, eating just ground beef, butter, and eggs. He doesn't do the bacon. And so you can do it so inexpensive. When you're retired and you're on a pension that's fixed, that's important that we don't exclude people because this is definitely cheaper, as you said, than even a standard diet. So for sure.
Yeah. We don't have a Walmart
common sense.
here,
Common sense.
we do have Asda, which was bought by Walmart, so it's a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just want. I know you've already replied, Larry, but this guy's come back with the positives from that one ribeye a day. So lost 50 pound, joint foot pain gone, no pain, sensitivity in teeth, better, shorter sleep. That's what I was saying earlier on. Yeah, acid reflux gone. That's what you mentioned, Alex, as well. Aspirating twice and nearly choking to death in my sleep stopped. Yeah. And then no more sore arms after having a shit. I love that bit. Cravings gone, generally more chilled out, no anxiety. So lots of benefits there for Nick. Brilliant.
It cracks me up when people start this and they're like, "Oh, I'm constipated. How do we fix this?" I'm like, "Okay, let's revisit this. Are you constipated or have you just not gone to the bathroom yet?" Because there's a difference. Constipation involves pain and very hard stool. There's actually a matrix, as Dr. Chafee points out, where you can look at your stool and see if you're constipated. If you just don't need to go, it means you're just digesting everything you're eating, which is amazing. Yes. My dog's 130 pounds. He's a Great Dane. He's my service dog. He went from huge piles of man-like poop that I had to pick up to these little pellets that look like scat you find in the woods. That scat is what you find when wild animals take a dump. Rabbits have small little hard pellets. Dogs, the wolves and the coyotes have small little pellets. And now my dog has these little tiny pellets because he just eats raw meat. So it's not constipation, people. It is just going to the bath. And what it is, you have to relearn your body. You relearn your hunger signals because they've been broken by the standard American diet. You relearn your poop signals. I guarantee you're going to learn them, and they're different.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. 100%.
Can I just say on that, Paul?
Before you do, just quickly, I just need to. Somebody's knocking on my door. I'll be back in 2 seconds. There.
You heading out, Alex?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'm still going strong. Yeah, I was going to say I agree with you, Larry. I would go to the toilet for a number 2 stool 3 times a day, and everyone used to say to me, "You must have fantastic bowel movements." Blah blah blah. And I was going, I'm in absolute agony, and so probably like yourself, I go probably 2-3 times a week now.
Yep.
And
that's it.
I am used to it, but I thought at first it was really weird.
It's not a major event anymore either, right? So I love talking toilet because now it's just like get in, get business done, and get going. I'm not sitting there for 30 minutes like I used to, right? And so this is the other thing. Eating used to be before the carnivore diet. My relationship with food was eating was entertainment, right? And now eating has turned in. It's like I said in a post I put out. When I was a kid, I would be out playing until my mom made me come eat dinner. And when I came and ate dinner, I'd have to apologize to my friends. Sorry, guys, I have to go. I'd go home, I'd eat as fast as I could so I'd get back out to playing. So for me back then, that was not entertainment, eating, right? Eating with the family at the table was a chore. That's what it is now. Going to the bathroom and eating are the same to me. They're a biological function. Now I have many things that I'm more interested in doing that I'm freed up to do because I'm not wasting my time eating.
Yes, absolutely. As you say, it's a function. It's a function, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fuel.
Yeah, it is. And when you're eating the high carb, high sugar, I mean, I personally needed to eat every 4 or 5 hours easily, constantly wanting the next thing to eat. Just want to quickly go through some more of these. Are you okay to stay a little bit longer, Alex? Have you got to shoot off? Or
yes,
are you okay?
I'm fine for now. Yeah, I'll give you a shout when.
Okay. This one's a good one. Sandra, I lost 70 pounds in the first 6 months and had a bunch of loose skin at 51 years of age. That was 5 months ago and getting better every week. I think I'm the only one that can notice now. Excellent. Brilliant benefits there. Errol Chana, hi everybody. Carnivore Soldiers replying. Sandra. Just some of these people are talking to themselves. So if I do miss your comment, I do apologise. Here's a question here. Do you think we will see a sin tax on red meat soon, like they do with tobacco and booze? Seems like that is the direction we are going in on both sides of the pond. I mentioned this, I think it might have been with you, Larry, didn't that? I've mentioned it on a few live streams anyway. If the carnivore diet becomes massive and we're all getting too healthy, where the pharmaceutical companies, the big food industries not making the profit that it used to make. I know Kent Carnivore, he said that we don't really need to worry about that because there's always going to be plenty of people that sticks with the Western diet. But if it did start getting to the point where they're noticing a big drop in profits, is it possible that they could sort of influence governments and things like that to make it harder for us? Maybe I've heard about meat tax. I've heard about making it more difficult to farm meat, to rationing meat, to, like you have to pay more tax because you could end up having a heart attack. Like they've talked about that with smokers in the past. Do you think that's something that could happen? Alex, do you want to go first?
Yeah, well, apparently there's a particular man called Mr. Gates who's trying to give us all a hard time, isn't he? I know he's buying up a lot of land in America. I mean, I don't want to talk on politics, but I do think, Paul, that we are in a war. We definitely are in a battle, and I think the more this carnivore way of eating rises, I think it's going to start rattling a few cages in terms of big industries. And as we all know, the tobacco companies went from the tobacco to cereal, especially in the States. I think we could have big changes again, but I think it's something that could possibly happen. But again, it's all about resistance, isn't it? The more we resist, the more they back off. And yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah, it is. Larry?
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen, these Harvard studies, these epidemiological BS studies, right, that come out. And we just saw the one that said eating meat gives you high cholesterol or heart disease, which is just ridiculous. Or diabetes, actually. It said eating meat gives you diabetes. It's just completely nonsense. Eating meat on a pizza gives you diabetes. And I agree with that. But that's kind of the study didn't talk about what you ate the meat on, what the delivery system was, or how much, what ratio of meat to all the other things junk you ate was. So, if you eat a meat burger with a bun, sauce, Coke, and fries, yes, you'll get diabetes. It's ridiculous. So they use these things to twist and that tells you though that the worm is starting to turn, right? And they are worried about that. So they're putting out more and more BS studies to try to get to fear people into things. Just like when this last disease hit, and at first everyone was lining up with their arm open for the inoculation, and now not so much, right? So the truth will get out there, but this is our chance. This is our open window. This is when we make a drive at grassroots, and everyone either start a YouTube channel, or if you can't or have no interest in doing that, support YouTube content creators. And you can get into this fight, and you need to get into this fight to prevent something like that happening. And the way you get into the fight is, if you're not going to make YouTube videos, great, no problem. Just subscribe to people that are, and like their videos and follow them and watch their videos all the way through. This is how you get the algorithm to notice. So the algorithm pushes that out, because we are getting shadow banned because we're not following the UN World Health Organization requirements, whatever. So the only way to get this out is actually for people like you doing a grassroots movement. So this is definitely part of it. Get in the fight, and we can prevent that, because it will happen if we don't.
Yeah, definitely. An interesting question here I wanted to ask you is, if you could turn 3 things into carnivore, like you were allowed to have them and they would give you the same benefits, so maybe something that you used to have, I used to enjoy, so if you could say like these 3 things is what you're now allowed to have, and it will give you the same benefits as carnivore, you can add them into the carnivore diet. They don't have to be meat, they don't have to be dairy. What 3 things would you transfer over onto the carnivore diet? Larry, do you want to go first?
Are you talking about like cheat foods?
It can be anything.
Did I miss?
Anything that you like. If somebody says, right, this is now carnivore, you can have it. It's going to give you the same benefits as carnivore.
Well, pizza. I'm an American, so pizza for sure. I love pizza.
Yeah.
And I do miss that, but listen, I don't really miss it. I say that, and I do have ice cream. I have Dr. Kiltz's ice cream, so I'm happy with that. The whole idea of cheating and falling off the wagon. I've tasted foods before, and I thought in my mind it was going to be good, and when I tasted it, it wasn't. It wasn't what I remembered it being. I think it was. I don't know what it's just the relationship with food changes so much that those things don't even appeal to me anymore. So even though I say pizza, Yeah, but I don't. It's like I'm jonesing for a pizza, right? So that'd be one thing, I guess. And then Oreos, I guess. But I don't really even care for them anymore. Like I walk by the aisle and it doesn't bother me. My son cheated once, and he went and got a burger, and he told me afterwards. He said, "Dad, it wasn't even good. I thought it was going to be great, and it wasn't." I'm like, "Yeah, it's never as good as you remember it was." So yeah, I don't miss it. When I get some beef and salt, I'm good, and butter, I'm good.
Excellent. Yeah, that's fair enough. If you're happy with that, is there anything you would switch over, Alex?
Well, I've got a list of of all the things I used to eat. I'll just pick 3 of them. Yeah, I probably would include commercial ice cream. I do like mint chocky chip or chocolate ice cream. Yeah, so, but I have tried them since over the last 18 months, and I'd say I've had Dr. Kiltz's ice cream. I've got an ice cream maker, so I haven't tried it for about 2 or 3 months, but it was fantastic. It wasn't as sweet, but it was much more satisfying. So yeah, so ice cream. Do you guys know about Mars bars? Do you remember Mars bars?
Oh yeah.
But when I was a kid, they were that big.
Yeah.
So I used to travel. I used to be on the tube in London every day. I'd get a Mars bar on the way to work. But then I was 10.5 stone, so I was able to handle that. And probably salted peanuts. Yeah, I do like them.
Yeah.
But as I say, I've tried them since.
No, it's fine. Go finish it.
Yeah, I was going to say I've tried them. Had a couple of handfuls. Not interested anymore.
Yeah, I used to love them. I used to love salted peanuts. I could eat the big bag full of them, but then one day, all of a sudden, getting older, I got an intolerance against them, and pains literally stabbing us in my stomach. It felt like somebody's twisting a knife. So I ended up stopping eating them. But yeah, if I could switch over, I'd love alcohol to be part of carnivore, like beers. I'd switch that straight over. And yeah, pizza as well. I'm a massive pizza eater. Loved pizza. There is actually a comment here from Yomi1808. I made carnivore pizza already with egg white crust, Maria Elmerich, I don't know what that is. Ground beef as topping and salami and cheese. It's great. That's one thing I'd like to try doing something. I don't know if you've got a YouTube channel. Might have to have a little look at that later on, see how that was done. Because
I think she's from Germany. I think she said I was following her. She's on my channel. Yeah. I think she's in Germany right now. So yeah, and you can do like a white Alfredo sauce. I know you can make one, a carnivore Alfredo sauce. I think there's a couple channels where they do recipes like that. Also with the ice cream, you can sweeten it with glycine powder, which is a non-essential amino acid that's sweet in nature. So you can, and that's not, I don't know if that'll make an insulin spike. I don't think, and these are so small compared to like eating sugar. It just add a little sweetness. I add vanilla, and I've actually started adding a little bit of cinnamon and vanilla to my ice cream, my Kiltz's ice cream, and it's good. I mean, I like that. And I do add
is that like a vanilla essence, or is that like the pods?
No, it's the vanilla extract. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pure stuff, though, not the imitation. I don't get the imitation. I get the pure vanilla extract.
The pure stuff. So is that sugar free, or has that got some sugars in it?
It's sugar free. It's plant based though. So this is, when you do cinnamon and vanilla, you're putting plant based stuff in your diet. But I'm at the point now where I can introduce things, and I do just a little. I mean, this is such a small amount compared. I mean, we're talking teaspoon per thing of, it's not like I'm eating vegetable, right? I mean, it's very small.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next question. So, what would you eat in a typical day? And obviously, if you have steak, let us know how you have your steak. Alex, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I've had 2 steaks today. As I say, because I'm on the lion diet, I'm going to stick to the steaks and obviously the 20% mince. But my steaks, I put them 5 minutes in the air fryer on a 205 degrees centigrade, and then I take them out and I put them on my carbon steel pan. I do butter, really get it sizzling, and I sear the steaks 1 minute either side, and then I let them rest for a couple of minutes on a rack, and they're just perfect. That's between medium and medium rare, and then I sit there going, Yeah, so that's how I do mistakes. But the Power Bowl is the easiest way to get all the nutrition. I did a short recently on the Power Bowl. I think people like the music that I attached to it, and I listed all the nutrients on the 1 minute short. And every time I have a Power Bowl, I just feel optimum. You know, it's so cheap and so filling. I would never go a week without a Power Bowl at all. So that's my typical. It's a couple of Power Bowls. Obviously bacon and eggs if when I'm not on line diet, but I'll go straight back to them when I go back in December. But I'll probably have streaky bacon and about 4 eggs in the morning. No, sorry, about 2 o'clock, and then about 8 o'clock, if I'm still hungry, I'll have a couple of steaks.
Yeah, it sounds it's a good idea. I've never thought about doing the steak in the air fryer first and then in the pan. I've always just put them. I think I might have done one in the air fryer once, just the whole thing. But when I did it, it wasn't like seared properly, like you say. So it'd be interesting to give that a try.
You just get that crust on you, which what you want, that sort of darker, like harder. But I think you get a nice even cooking through on the 5 minutes. It does depend on the size of the steak, obviously, whether it's ribeye or sirloins. The sirloins are obviously it's a tougher joint. If it's the ribeye, I'd probably sear it more than I do in the air fryer. But yeah, it's a good method.
Yeah, definitely. Just before I go to Larry, this was what this guy. The reason I'm putting this up is because bread. I forgot to mention bread would have to be one of me 3 because I love to have toast on a morning. I'd have me fried eggs on toast or me Marmite on toast. I'd have it every day, and I'd have sandwiches. So good one there. Definitely have bread on there. Larry, typical day of eating, and how do you have your steaks?
Well, my typical day is ground beef. Today I actually had breakfast. I don't usually eat eggs and bacon, but today I did because I had a couple eggs left. I want to get rid of them because I'm going to go shopping. So I thought, well, I'll just have eggs and bacon and clear it out. My steaks, I do love. I have 2 techniques. My easy go-to is the frozen steak in the air fryer. And the air fryer I have is the clamshell one. I bought an aftermarket rack that raises it higher to the middle of the air fryer, so it gets good circulation all around. And I have a link for that on my website if anyone wants to check it out. My website is Carnivore.along, and it's just an Amazon affiliate link, no big deal. But anyway, so I put it on there, solid frozen, 450 degrees Fahrenheit for about, and I flip it halfway through for about 25 minutes, and it turns out medium rare in the middle and crispy on the outside. I love that. The other way I do it is what's called a reverse sear, and I have both techniques on videos on my channel. A reverse sear, you can either put it in the oven or I put mine in the smoker, Texas style, and at about 200 degrees until the internal temperature gets to where you want to eat it at. So I like mine to get up to like 105, 110, and then I pull it out, whether it's from the oven or the smoker. It takes about 20 minutes usually. And this is not a frozen steak. This is a room temperature steak I put in there. And then I sear it in tallow. Same way as you at a high temperature, same way as you, Alex, to get that crispy on the outside. What that does is when you do a reverse sear, you put it in the oven or in the smoker, it removes all the external moisture from the outside. So you don't lose all that energy from that tallow. That tallow goes right into searing and crisping the meat right away. If you put a regular steak in there off at room temperature, it's got so much moisture that converting that moisture water to steam takes up a huge amount of energy and reduces the crispiness you get. So that's a little tip for people wanting to reverse sear their own steaks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm getting quite good at making them on the pan. Like I can touch it now, and I can tell when it feels like it's ready. That touching them, I'd never be able to figure it out. But I normally get it spot on now. I have my steaks. I've nearly always went medium in the past, but now I've crept up to medium where I'm starting to enjoy it more. Like
nice.
Yeah, and I have me bacon and eggs every single morning. Love that. So that's pretty much. I do have some ground beef as well now and again. I do get bored of it occasionally, but yeah, burgers with cheese on it. So I do quite like that for work. Right. So next question. If you were on a desert island and you could have one meal, what would it be? Would it be ribeyes?
Yeah, for me, ribeye. Yeah. A big, thick ribeye. Yeah. I think if I had the choice between definitely ribeye.
Mine would be my smoked reverse seared ribeye, where it's got that smoke flavor. You know, I love that because I can smoke it with different woods, which I do. I do applewood sometimes with mesquite. You know, definitely a Texan thing, but yeah, you always get a little variation there, and it's just so good. What's great about the reverse sear is every bite is exact same consistency. Whereas if you do an air fry, usually the ends are a little more well done on the sides, you know. But when you do when you bring the whole temperature of the steak up to where you want to eat it and then sear it, every bite's going to be perfect, exactly where you want it.
Yeah. I don't mind them crispy bits on the end. Actually, I quite like them. But have you tried any unusual meats, Larry? Have you tried anything? I mean, even before you were carnivore, have you tried anything? You know, like alligator, and people try all sorts of different meats. Have you had anything unusual?
We have a Brazilian steakhouse here. I don't know if you guys have those in the UK, but the Brazilian steakhouses, they're very expensive. They're all you can eat, and they bring all these meats over on a sword. And they cut them for you, and you just get these little tongs, and you grab on, and they cut it for you, and they drop on your plate. And they walk around. So I've eaten some meats that I didn't really know what it was. It wasn't beef, but you know, I like all that. I mean, I like any meat, to tell you the truth. And you know, I love lamb, love beef. I've had alligator in the past. I've had rabbit. I've had quail and goose. So yeah, it's all good. I can eat any meat. I mean, I'm an apex predator.
Yeah. Alex, have you got anything unusual, or are you just like me? I've never really tried anything amazingly unusual.
Well, you know me, Paul. I'm just a simple lad from Liverpool. It's just steak and chicken, really. Yeah.
No. Fair enough.
But I agree with Larry. I was going to say I agree with Larry. I don't mind eating any meat at all.
Yeah. I remember the days I've always loved chicken skin, but my parents were like, no, you shouldn't eat that. It's so bad for you. So I got into a habit of taking it off, but now I'm back on the crispy chicken skin. I love that stuff.
I would say that I do because I do have venison, you know, being a hunter and everything. So I do eat some venison, and I throw that in. I make a chili. Actually, I have started going back to making chili, which I haven't done in a long time. So I've added some seasonings in to try that, and it didn't affect me negatively. So I ate one batch and froze 2 batches. So I do have some venison chili.
Yeah, definitely. Right, well, we're coming close to the end. I've got a couple of quick ones. If somebody was to give you £1 million or $1 million to stop eating meat, would you do it, Alex?
Well, I think 18 months ago, you know, I would not have been able to answer that the right way. But today, the 18 months journey I've had, Paul, has just been. Can you hear me? Okay, guys.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. Sorry. I think I honestly have to say I would not take the money because I've never felt this way in 30 years. Too many benefits for me, and you know, I think it's going to get even better and better and better. But yeah, the money would not be able to buy me the happiness that I've got. Yeah,
definitely, Larry.
Yeah, so I just had this discussion. I know I discussed it with you before it came on with another veteran. So my channel focuses on first responders and veterans, and there's a lot of disabled veterans like myself who have service-related disabilities. And some people's disabilities are getting reversed, like GERD or sleep apnea. And so one of the veterans came to me and said, well, aren't you worried that they're going to take your check away, the government? And I don't think I'm in you know, have any threat of that because my injuries are like permanent and they're not they're physical, like tissue damage. They're not going to reverse. But if they were going to take my check away from me, I would let them, because I you know, it's not £1 million or $1 million, but it's a regular check, and I would let them take that because you couldn't pay me to stop this, and you can't pay me to stop from talking about it. So I will continue to get this message out, and it's a passion project. I don't make money doing this. I mean, I'm monetized and everything, but let me tell you what, monetization is tiny. It's not what I make in a couple hours at my job. So I'm just telling you, this is really a passion project for me, and I really want to get as many people saved as I can. I feel like I'm Noah and the Ark and tell them the rain's coming. That's what I feel like, and that's the passion I have for this.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I think
Paul, Paul, sorry,
yeah.
Paul, can I interrupt? I do have to go, unfortunately. I don't want to,
No, of
but
course. No, it's fine.
what I want to say is thanks, guys. I've had a blast. It's been great, and we've got to do it again.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure.
Definitely.
Alex. Catch you later, brother.
Definitely. Well, no,
Yes,
thank you very much for coming on, Alex. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, the link below will be in the description. So just check him out and send him some love. Thanks again, Alex. Mate.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, bye.
Bye. What a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, definitely. Yeah, for me, I would have always the things I would have done for £1 million is unbelievable.
Right.
Probably quite illegal in a lot of cases. I shouldn't admit that, but I would have done a lot of things for £1 million.
Indecent proposal, like the movie.
Yeah.
Remember the movie with Demi Moore?
Yeah, I'd be chucking it. Go on, do it. No, I think. I mean, to be honest with you, now the thing is, if you took the money, I would. I mean, for a start, if I love it's one of them. I just love meat now. I love meat all the time, but it would be in the back of my mind. Every bite of this other food that I'm eating is going to give me less time with my family potentially. You know what I mean? Like less time. I could die younger. So for me, time is more valuable than any money. I've always said that it's the most valuable thing we have. So if I can get more time, then I believe eating this kind of lifestyle, this diet is giving us more time on this earth. Hopefully, it's not worth it for me. So
It's
yeah,
not just time, it's the quality of life. I mean, and no one sat on their deathbed and said, man, I wish I had more money in the bank account right now. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No.
my deal is this: if I die and my check to the Undertaker bounces, that's mission accomplished, man. I hit it perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care about taking money with me to my death.
Yeah. No, you can't spend it, can you? Once you're gone, that's it. So. Yeah, so that was pretty much the last question. I will just ask you a little bit about your YouTube channel as well while we've got you here. So, Carnivore Soldier, you've done absolutely amazing. I think you started around the same time as me. You've got so many more subscribers. You've got thousands of subscribers. Great content. You're doing loads of content as well. I mean, I try and get a video out a week, but you've got them coming out all the time. What made you start up the YouTube channel, and what's the plans going forward?
Yeah, so that was because when I started the carnivore diet, like you guys said, I mean, I basically felt amazing, had amazing results so fast that it was blowing my mind. So I could not talk about it, right? I had to talk to everyone about it. So my neighbor went on it, my brother, my sister, like my son went on it. I didn't force him, and everyone that went on it had great results. And then a friend of mine who I had talked to went on it, and she talked to someone else who I'd never met, and they went on it and had great results. And I'm like, man, I'm already making a ripple effect. And what if I were to do one of these YouTube channels? So I technically know how, I just didn't have any inclination to do it. I mean, I knew the technology. So I thought, well, and I already had that channel from doing drone stuff. I thought, well, let me get in front of a video camera and do a video, which was really weird the first time. I mean, it feels completely weird to do that, but yeah. So I did my video and people liked it. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to keep driving. So I started making lots of content because I had a lot to talk about. And I just wanted to get this message out. So I really want my whole mission carnivore, which is my military and first responder thing, is to reach out to as many of them and regular people as I can. And the reason I focus on military and first responders, I've worked both in police department. I worked from 2001 to 2006 at the San Mateo Police Department. So a lot of police officers are my friends and brothers. And then in the military, of course, I did 20 years. And in both those lines of work, there's a high suicide rate. Suicide modality is very high. And I really believe, especially after doing a lot of this research, that that's because of the standard American diet really moves that fulcrum. It makes people more violent and makes people more impulsive. And they do impulsively violent things like take their own lives when they probably didn't have to. They put a permanent solution in place for a temporary problem. And I think that by pointing people towards this diet, because my own mental health got so much better, I think it's going to make everyone's mental health that embraces this in much better. And where they may, if it saves one life, it's worth it. If I can help save one person's life, then my mission is accomplished. But I think it'll do more than that. I think it'll do a lot more than that. I think we'll make a dent in those numbers as this thing grows.
No, exactly. Yeah, I totally agree, and that's why I've got my channel out there as well. It's just to get the word out, let other people experience the benefits that we're already feeling, and hopefully live a better life. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Larry. I really do appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm going to close it off now, but I do want to say a big thank you to everybody that has joined tonight. Lots of comments. I do want to apologize if I've missed your comment as well. You can always get in touch with us. If you're from Larry's channel, I appreciate you. Come over to my channel, subscribe as well. I'm going to try and nick some of your subscribers there, Larry. Okay, getting myself plugged in.
Yeah.
No, Larry's fantastic channel. I do love your content, mate. I do watch what I can when I'm
Thanks,
when I'm
man.
off work.
I know it's hard.
It is. There's so many different
So many
content creators. Yeah. You'd need. It's a full-time job just watching them, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do appreciate your time as well coming on. I know it's different time zone over there. What time is it now there, Larry?
It's 4:20 p.m. 16:20.
Oh,
yeah.
not too
Central
bad.
time. Yeah, it's not bad. I got a live stream come on at 7:05 p.m. That's my Wednesday night hump day meetup. So if any of you guys are in my time zone or are up that time, 7:05 Central time. So it's in about 3 or 2.5 hours.
Yeah, definitely. If there's anybody here from either my channel or Alex's channel, still go over, subscribe to Larry, check him out. That's going to be it. Like I say, if you want to get in touch with us, you can always contact us via YouTube or via UK Carnivore Guy at gmail.com. Larry's got all his stuff on his YouTube channel as well, all his links. I think it's Carnivore Soldier everywhere, is it, Larry?
It's just Carnivore Soldier. So that's all it is Carnivore Soldier, at Carnivore Soldier on YouTube. I'm the only Carnivore Soldier. So yeah, it's everywhere though. It's like also on Twitter and on Facebook. So excellent. Yeah, and Instagram, I think. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, thanks very much. I'm going to leave it there. So thanks again. You guys take care. And for now, we'll see you later.
Hook 'em horns.
Bye.